Okay. All right. So tonight's topic is um, a topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And essentially, if a lot of you guys know me, you know that I've been in the interior design and real estate industry for over a decade. And one of the main things that you kind of always hear in the industry as you are self employed or trying to build your business is a lot of individuals always saying, just fake it till you make it. So the question tonight is, can you really fake it till you make it? So you'll see me looking down a lot, and it's just because I'm going to be reflecting on my notes, just making sure that I cover everything with you guys tonight and get you guys to understand everything that I want to cover. So again, this week's topic of discussion is, can you really fake it till you make it? I'm Natalie Cousins, and I primarily focus on the interior design and real estate industry, but really anything that I talk about can be, the advice can be used with any industry. So if you're starting an automotive company, a detailing company, these facts and points can work for you guys as well. But most of my insight comes from me being in the interior design and real estate industry. So what I can say is, if there's one piece of business advice that's completely misunderstood, it might just be that old adage, fake it till you make it. Too many people talk about this or say this, and this advice sounds as if you're being asked to lie about who you are and what you do, and what couldn't be further from the truth. Okay, but that doesn't mean that the advice is worthless. It just depends on your mindset and how you're actually taking it and what you're going to actually do with it. So in fact, if you're launching a business, embarking on a new chapter in your life, if you're trying to diet or exercise, or trying to learn the title of a millionaire, faking it is the first step, because you have to set your mind to believe that you can actually hit the weight loss goals, or you can become a millionaire, or you can have a successful business. You can be your city's next best real estate agent. So it just depends on your mindset. But it's not, you're not faking it till you make it by going out and purchasing clothes or a size that you know that you can't initially fit yourself into, or booking an exotic getaway that you can't necessarily afford, um, or by acting the healthy way or by a healthy person but doing the opposite. So what I mean by that is, like, I'm trying to lose 20 pounds, and in front of everyone I'm working out, showing everything on Facebook Live that I'm working out, but then when I get home I'm binging on a burger, or I'm eating fries. So you got to kind of think about what your image is when you're thinking of faking it until you make it. You got to start waking up in the morning saying that, I am the next best real estate agent, or I am the next best interior designer, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So it's a thought process. Healthy people don't scarf down, chocolate cake and call it dinner. That's not what you do if you're trying to achieve your healthy goals. You can fake it by being healthy by planning a dinner like a healthy person would. And wealthy people don't spend money that they don't have. So you can fake it by deciding to live within your means and planning your business needs and your goals strategically, than just knowing that something's $199 a month, or a program's $199 a month, but you can't necessarily afford it. So that's what I mean. So the result is, when you live as if you are already doing or dreaming of becoming something, pretty soon you'll wake up and you'll find yourself achieving your goals after all. So we need to set realistic goals, and we need to set them in a timeline to achieve these goals. So when we talk about faking it till we make it, one of the biggest questions that you kind of have to ask yourself is, what's really holding you back? That was a big question that I kind of had to answer for myself for a very long time. Like I said before, I've been in the industry since 2002. I started off as an interior designer, and I soon realized that I didn't want to be in the fabric room picking fabrics, or necessarily working for the head designer. I wanted to be the head designer. So in order for me to be that head designer, I had to think of, how am I going to get myself out of being an employee and go into being self-employed. So I started visualizing myself as a principal designer. I started thinking about how am I going to get out there, get clients, and do things that would make myself more prominent. And so I found myself putting out yellow pages ads at the time, making business card flyers, having my elevator pitch. And really what was holding me back was at the time. So it's rare for a business owner at some point who doesn't feel stuck. At some point in everything that you're doing, you're going to end up feeling stuck. At the end of the day, at some point, big corporations like McDonald's, they had to come up with new marketing plans. They had to come up with things that were strategic to keep them known. Same with Starbucks, second cup. So what's really holding you back? Either you begin to experience burnout being self-employed or trying to start your own business, or you aren't reaching your goals and you can't seem to pass the income plateau that you want to find yourself on. So for instance, you want to make 100,000 this year, but you always find yourself only making 40,000 as a self-employed individual, or 20,000. So you have to start to say to yourself, is it a normal part of being in business? Yes, it is. But some people say that there isn't. Successful small business owners figure out how to overcome the hurdles and overwhelm, and they continue to feel that their business is growing, but how are they going to get it to the next level? So the first step is to just determine what exactly is holding back your business. And if you aren't able to evaluate yourself and look back at that, that's where you start to say to yourself, okay, what's going on here? I think the second thing is lack of clarity, okay? When you don't really know what it is that you want from your business, you'll experience a lack of clarity. So if you can't look at the tunnel vision or look at the bigger picture, so the 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, how are you having clarity if you don't know what you want in your first year of business versus 5 and 10? Maybe you aren't clear on who you're meant to serve. So if you don't have an audience, so for instance, like I said, my experience is with interior design and the home staging industry. However, the formula can be used in other businesses because I've helped other individuals who own businesses that are not in those industries, and it has worked. But again, because I know more about being in the interior design industry and the real estate industry, that's what I stick to. So, maybe you don't know who you're meant to serve, or you can't quite envision your product funnel. That's the big thing. Or maybe you can't even picture your epic, promotion or your epic product or your epic launch in its entirety. So you're stuck. These are all symptoms of lack of clarity, and they can stop a promising business in its tracks. So it's kind of like having a trail derail, or you don't service your vehicle so it doesn't go any further. So if you're suffering from lack of clarity, you need to take a step back and do some brainstorming, and or what we would call brain dumping, depending on how you want to look at it, to get everything out in the daylight where you can see it. And then this alone can help you get clear on what the next steps are. The other thing that can be holding you back is lack of focus. And this is very big because I guess when you look at it, if you're used to going to a 9-to-5 job, you're at the office, you take your 15 minutes, then you take your lunch, then you take your next 15-minute break. Being self-employed or transitioning over to being self-employed is different. I was going to say kind of different, but it is different. You have to have discipline. You have to try to focus. You have to do time blocking. These are all things that you have to do in order for your business to be successful. So if you're clear on your goals, but you're having trouble moving forward consistently, then the lack of focus might be your trouble. Maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe you need somebody that you are trying to work with like on a weekly basis, or you have somebody else that's also trying to be self-employed and they are looking for an accountability partner. So the two of you group up together and it allows you guys to hold each other accountable for what it is. Like I have an accountability partner. Okay. Lack of focus is going to be a big issue for you if you don't actually have that. So for most people, they head out to their office or to their job on a daily basis. But when you're self-employed, where are you headed? You're headed to your home office. So it's a little bit different. So are you having a morning routine? Are you trying to do things more strategically so that you can get more things done? Are you prepping the night before for what you need to do for the next day? Lists, that's key. So some people head to the office each morning with a purpose. By lunch, it's clear that you haven't accomplished everything. And I think that for those who work in an office, if by lunch you haven't gotten anything done and your mind is just really set on the business that you're trying to build, that's a lack of focus, because you no longer want to do your job. You want to focus on building your business. But again, you don't have the focus. And without the focus on anything, you need to realize that you need your 9 to 5 to be able to build your business on the side. And that's what's holding you back, because you're trying to put the cart before the horse, or the train derails. Okay. So you're not a bad person or even a poor business owner. You're just having problems focusing on the next steps that need to happen to make your dreams come true. So a lot of people want to say, well, why is this happening? Well, this is happening because with your end goal in mind, you need to brainstorm your next physical action and you need to achieve it, because if you're not seeing results, then there's no point. So if your goal is to build a 4-week promotion or an email campaign or a door-to-door mail campaign, then your next step might be to pull your mailing list. You need to figure out targeting. So a lot of people will be like, what do you mean by polling your mailing list or polling your email list? So for instance, in real estate and in interior design, most of us should be farming an area. So that means either you're farming your kid's school district, the neighborhood that you live in. Maybe there's a specific neighborhood that is set to a specific price range. So you want to focus on the $250,000 or $350,000 price range, or you want to focus on $650,000 up to $1 million. Well, in order to focus on that and to do your mailing list, you're going to have to target that market. And what targeting that market means is you're going to have to look on the map, look at all the neighborhoods, get the household addresses, and then you have to physically figure out your 4-week campaign. So this just sold. And if it's this just sold or coming soons, whatever it is that you have, you got to start marketing it. And so it's a 4-week promotion. And if it's a 4-week promotion, how are you going to target that? Where is your list? How are you going to market to them? How many times per out of that 4 weeks are you going to send a direct mailing? Are you going to door knock? Well, for interior designers, it's a little bit different. You might be staging those houses in that area and you want to focus on either getting decorating or staging appointments. How are you going to market? Well, it's simple for us. We either are doing the direct mailing as well, showing the houses that you just staged that have sold for over asking price or sitting on the market for a certain amount of days, or you have collected these real estate agents' business cards, email addresses. So are you going to cold call within that 4-week promotion? What type of emails are you going to send out? These are all strategic and most important processes. So if you have a lack of focus, the 4 weeks are going to pass you by. So you look at the calendar, it's a 4-week promotion. It's supposed to start, say, the 23rd of October, and it's going to end on the 20th of November. You just put that date out, but then what are you doing in those 4 weeks? So that's important. The other thing that might be really truly holding you back is being bored. Okay, you've lost interest in the business you once loved, or you've lost interest in the job that you're at. This is unfortunately pretty common among solopreneurs. So solopreneurs is a person who doesn't have a team. They have a business that they're being built, or they're working in their full-time job and they're really trying to fake it till they make it to build this business. But because they're solopreneurs, it's become draining. They've lost the momentum. The fire is no longer ignited to do this business, and it's become frustrating. So, this is why we see so many of business owners jumping from business to business. They're never spending enough time on one endeavor to see it through successfully. They're in multi-level marketing, but they're jumping from different multi-level marketing businesses because they haven't found the spunk, or they haven't found the spark, and they've lost it. So it is very important for whatever it is that you're going to do that you stay excited about your business. Start having dreams. that keep you going even when you're faced with the day-to-day drought or the day-to-day struggles of being a small business owner, with these encounters that you may have. So not every day is going to be fun when you're running a business, but if you keep your why in mind, it can help you get past your dull spots. So when we talk about what are your whys, like my whys is I'm a mother of 2 children. I've got a son and a daughter. They both have different spirits. I can see where my son kind of wants to head, and I can see where my daughter wants to head. I'm a wife. I'm trying to keep the household and try to keep everything organized, but my bigger picture is I want to be able to change individuals' lives, being that if I see a designer that's struggling, I want to be able to, my why is to be able to work with that designer or decorator or home stager to say, look, I was once in your shoes. This is what we need to do to evaluate your system and get that spark ignited. Being a real estate agent is not easy by far. Any self-employment is not easy by far, but you need to have a game plan. You need to have your whys. So if I'm in real estate and I'm looking at wanting to make $100,000 take-home pay after the broker takes its split and I pay all my advertising fees, like I want to bring in my bank account $100,000, I need a plan. What is my whys? How am I going to go ahead? How many houses do I have to sell at what particular price range in order to bring in that $100,000 for the year? So you have to keep your whys in mind, and the more you keep your whys in mind and you have a vision of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, that's where the hard work comes in. It's like you see yourself wanting that house, and you know that to buy that house you need $30,000 or $40,000 down, and right now you only have 5. Well, you've got to build. So what are you going to do to build? And then after that, you've got to maintain the mortgage, maintain the land tax, maintain all those things. So how are you going to keep your why? And so this is where we talk about what's really holding us back. If we don't have a vision, if there's certain things that we're not working towards, then we place ourselves in falling back down. So it's like you're climbing the ladder, you get up there, and because you've lost your why or your momentum, you just come tumbling back down, or it's like a volcano and everything erupts. So that's very important. Okay, so what we know is how easy to fix all these issues is really what we're trying to discover. Okay, it's a simple trick that the world's most successful entrepreneurs have been using for decades, and really what it is, and in my eyes, I've had a lot of people laugh at the fact that I have a vision board. And at the end of the day, I believe that if you see something enough, and if you can envision yourself enough in seeing yourself with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you get it. It's like the laws of the nature. A vision board is a fun, colorful tool, and it's often just what you need to clarify your dreams, work out your next steps, stay connected about your business. So a vision board does not have to be just about personal, okay? You can have a vision board for your business. So again, you know that you want to make take-home pay $100,000 in whatever business it is that you have. Why do you want to be self-employed? Why do you want to own a business? What are your wants and what are your needs for wanting to do this? So for me, I want to be able to have time for my children. I want to be able to take, specific vacations that are on my bucket list. I want to be able to buy my dream home. I want to be able to nurture the design and the real estate industry. So at the end of the day, I can talk about it, but am I seeing it? Okay, and that's why a vision board is so important. So when we're faking it and we're just telling ourselves, yes, I want to make $100,000 a year. Yes, I want that house. Yes, I want the car. Whatever it is, how are you getting it? What are you doing to motivate yourself every day to reach these goals and to accomplish these? You want to sell 100 homes this year. Are you seeing 100 homes and ticking it off on that board every time you sell a house? What are you going to do to reward yourself every time that you have a closing? What are you going to do to reward yourself every time you stage a house? Or every time you hit that target market to get closer to your 100,000? Well, if it's all up here and it's not out on paper, it's still just a cluster in your mind, okay? Vision boards can be as simple as a few images clipped from a magazine and pinned to a cork board, or as complex as a framed poster with hand-lettered quotes, personal inspirations, the choice is yours. But in order for you to see it, your vision has to be accomplished by seeing whatever it is that you're trying to do. But it's super fun, and best of all, it works. So faking it till you make it in the eyes of vision is not saying something and saying, I have, a nice car, or, I want that bedroom set, or I want that dining room. It is actually working towards it and saying, yes, I'm going to get that dining room for my living room. Yes, I am going to get that car. Yes, I am going to get that house, or I want to own a certain amount of properties. If you are not trying to visualize what it is that you want, it's all fluff. And that's what faking it is. So the answer to the question is yes, you can fake it till you make it. It just depends on if you have a vision that you're looking towards every day, writing it down and seeing it and working towards it. So, it's all a fundamental piece of what it is that I do. It's helping everyone visualize success. A lot of people are stuck in a rut right now. There's been so much things going on. It can be financial. It can be, there's blockage with work. There's blockage with trying to get to the next level. And so what I want to help you focus on is visualizing your success and getting you what it is that you want. Okay, so we're gonna put a pause on that and talk a little bit about getting clear on your business goals and your life goals in terms of a vision board. Okay, so your vision board can have business on it, or you can have one that's separate to work, or you can have one that's personal for home for your family. I personally work from home, so my vision board is amalgamated with everything in it for business and life. Okay, so if it's one thing that keeps people stuck, again, it's the lack of clarity. So you know that you want to, what you want to quiet your soul. Some people are stuck in their day job. They might be looking for freedom of self-employment, but they're not clear on the steps. The step isn't, you want to open, in Canada, we have Tim Hortons franchises, or it could be in the US, Starbucks franchises, and you're going to quit your day job to do that, because that's just not going to work. You need to be able to have the funds to be able to, that's right, Jackie, you want to get clear. So if you want to open a franchise, what is it that you need to do? The first thing you got to do is call the head office, and you want to get a mailing from Starbucks or from Tim Hortons to find out how much is the minimum investment, what are the franchise fees, what are required for you to open that franchise, and then from there you're going to actually build. So it's the same thing. If you are self-employed as a travel agent, designer, decorator, stager, real estate agent, what are you going to do to get clear on where you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? There's no point in being in business if it's just going to be every year. And the reason why I'm focusing on this right now is because we're in October. There's literally, this is the last quarter of the year. We need to be knowing what we're doing for the month of January, February, March, April, May, June, right back till December of 2018, so we can stay focused. And it's very important that we do that and we have our plan, because anything can happen. I was sick in September. I had a whole plan for coming, teaching, doing what I had to do, and I was hit with an illness that was out of my control. But I still had in my mind, this is still going on. This is what I have to plan. So if we don't plan, and if we don't have a vision and we don't have clarity, then we're stuck. All right. So you want to take that exotic vacation, but you're not sure where you want to go or how to make it happen. That's one. You want to grow your business, but you aren't sure what that means. That's two. The truth is, with ambitious goals such as these, in 5 or 10 years, you'll be stuck right where you are today, because you're not planning, right? It's just in my mind, I want to go to Paris. But is it written down? How am I going to do that? How am I going to accomplish it? What month, when do I see myself going to Paris? How much is it going to cost me? Have I researched what it's going to cost for me to take my family to Paris? It's just a dream. So next year, this time, I'll still be talking about, yeah, on my bucket list, I want to go to Paris. What have I done? So these are the key things. But with a little bit of clarity, you can achieve any goal, and you can conceive. And even some And even some of you cannot yet dream of, you might see yourself getting it. So somebody might have never saw themselves owning a yacht, sitting in Turks and Caicos, but at the end of the day, now they're there. The first step is visualizing it. So the main thing that we're going to talk about is, how vision boards work, how to make a vision board, which some of us might say, well, I already know that, I already have it, but there's a little bit something more deeper in there that I want to comb through and tell you a little bit about. So how a vision board works is, a vision board is a planning tool that allows you to unleash your creativity and your daydream in a tangible format by collecting images that represent your biggest goals and keeping them within sight, and you'll be able to focus on the next steps to reach them. So for me, I have a vision board. It's on my wall. It's strategic to quotes, images, pictures of myself, a check written to myself to be cashed at a particular time. But then I've got my workbook. Okay, and my workbook basically outlines to me what I need to do. So let me just make sure things don't fall out here, just to give you guys a little bit of insight. So I start with stuff like this, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but it just shows you where it is that I'm going for real estate and my consulting and what it is that I need to do. So while I'm visually looking at what I've got going on here, then I've also got it in my book, and it's planned out strategically. I then go as far as to, we're in October now, so here is my 2018 monthly calendar, and then I'll start to look at my kids' holidays and what the school has to give them for their days off. Then I start to plan my events. I start to plan my days off, my weeks off, and that's big. So if we know that we want to make a certain amount of money per year, there's 52 weeks in a year. Are we working all those 52 weeks? I know personally for myself, for Christmas when they're off, I try to spend time with them. Spring break, so that's 3 weeks out of the 52 already gone. Then Easter weekend, there's a lot of PA days involved, or long weekends. So we got to really seriously look at the calendar year for what it has to offer and dissect it down for how many days that we're going to work. There's 5 days in a traditional religious work week, Monday to Friday. There are some Fridays that I just don't want to work. So maybe it's that I work Monday to Friday, and instead of working 8 hours on my business, I choose to work 6, or I choose to work 10. These are all of what's going to determine your work week. So with the vision board, you've got it there as a visual, but then you're dissecting down your 52 weeks in your workbook. Okay, so not only that, but vision boards can serve as a way to keep you inspired when boredom hits. So it's something that you're consistently seeing, as it inevitably will. You're going to have that point where you're so overjoyed about your business, you're excited, you're telling everybody about it, and then a point of hardship hits you, and then you're ready to give up. But with your vision board, it's going to help you to remind you of why you're working hard and why you want to work instead of taking that nap. And I can tell you all about naps. So I could tell you lots of stories about naps back when I had my office in 2005, 2006. So there are many different ways to make a vision board. It can be digital, it can be hard copied, it can be the screensaver on your phone, it can be with paper and arts, it can be that Pinterest, you can even use Microsoft OneNote or Evernote. Digital boards are definitely more profitable. What I found with the vision board that I'm making this year, I'm doing it digital. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to Staples, look at the size that Staple has, build it in on the digital content, send it to the printer, and then I'm going to take it to Michael's and have them put it in a glass, bind it, and frame it. So there's many different ways. You can start by collecting your images now. So if you know there are certain things that you're trying to attain, you can start to look at images that represent your best goals and your dreams, photos from your family vacations if you're trying to keep something repetitive, ads for an expensive dress that you want to buy, if you want to go see Broadway, even a dollar figure representing what you want. And it's so funny that because I'm redoing my vision board, and let me just see if I've got the dollar bill in here. I have it somewhere. Just give me 1 second to show you, because you can change money. Money doesn't have you can change money to reflect what it is that you want. So I've changed my $1 into $1 million, and then I've got a check that I write to be able to cash for a specific date. Now, this then just goes in a plastic sleeve on my vision board, and then I'm seeing this $1 million. So then what I do is, if I have different currencies, I've got some yen, I got US, I got Jamaican, I got English pounds. I then circulate all my money to build it into what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So there's many ways for you to visualize your success, but again, if it's all in your mind and if it's not down on paper, then that's one thing. So what I wanted to say was, your vision board is a living document. It's kind of like a will and testament, right? Your dreams and your goals will change. Some of you will achieve and remove your vision board and make room for bigger dreams and goals, as I'm doing. Some of you decide it won't matter so much anymore, and you'll trade them in for others. It's your vision. It's completely up to you with what you want to do. But just be sure to follow up on it. You know what I mean? Without seeing stuff, there's no way that you can accomplish it. I can consistently go to the mall, walk through the mall, look at Zara, look at Nordstrom's, and look at different things that I want. But if I have it here on my board every single day, knowing that I want the shoe, the jacket, the purse, I'm going to eventually get it, because I'm seeing it, and seeing is believing. So at the end of the day, you just got to create that vision for yourself. What are you looking to accomplish? Where do you want to be in 5 years? We need to make our future be fun again. You know what I mean? I hate paying bills, right? I hate the fact that every week I've got to sit down and I've got to pay this person and that person. So I know for myself, I want to be able to have a bank account that I don't have to necessarily worry about. So when I am paying it, if I'm spending $1,000 this week, I'm making $3,000 this week. In order to do that, I got to make my business goals and accomplishments come alive again. So I have to sit down and I have to plan. All right, this is how much my mortgage is. This is how much my land tax is. This is my internet, my cable, my phone, my cell phone, gasoline. Average it all out for the year. What's my expenses? If my expenses are $60,000 to keep a roof over my head, food, groceries, etc., I know that I need to make $120,000, because at the end of the day, my main goal is I want in my bank $100,000. So these are just things to think about. Business planning is fun, and we want to make it fun again. So when you think of a business plan, you're probably thinking of pages with text and graphics and boring stats and numbers. That's what the bank needs in order for you to show your financial statements. But you know, the kind of thing that you get nervous about pushing across the desk to the bank loans, this isn't what a vision board is. A vision business plan is something that you see visually, and you know that these are things that you're working towards. So I don't know about you, but I can't think of anything less than pieces of paper and stuff for formal business planning. I have better tools and resources to be able to get my business going and keeping it alive. So the business plan that isn't is, what if you should plan your business with fun in it, full of colors, photos, inspirational quotes, phrases instead? What would you do for that daily motivation? So for me, I like to wake up in the morning. Before I used to say, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to do my affirmations, and I'm going to do all that stuff. I've changed. The kids become the priority to get them out the door, because the quicker they get out the door is the quicker I could start working on my business. So now, thank you, Jesus, I've woken up, blah, blah, blah. Then I get to getting the kids out the door. Once they're done, my day starts at 8:30. That's my shower. That's me getting ready to come to my desk. Then when I get to my desk, I start looking at things, but I'll always have my vision board to be able to visualize what it is that I am trying to accomplish. So that's exactly what a vision board is going to do for you. You're going to collect images that represent your dreams and your aspirations. You're going to have a constant reminder of where you're going. and even why you started the business in the first place, and maybe why you want to spend more time with your kids as they're growing up or having enough money to finally take that vacation to Europe or go backpacking in Italy. What about those houses in the country that you've always wanted? Maybe you want to own some property that will be able to have you visualize being a property manager. Like you want to own a certain amount of property so that your money is working for you in the background while you're building your business. Nothing is going to come to life, or nothing is going to come to fruition if we don't plan and if we don't have the vision. And that's why my webinar is called Visualize Success, because at the end of the day, a lot of us, we're great. We're good business owners. You know, the business that we might be operating right now is running successfully, but we're just working every day, and then it becomes a daunting task. And it's so funny because I was at my nail tech on Sunday, and, you know, she stayed to get my nails done. Even though she closed at 7, she stayed to give me my manicure and my pedicure. And I said, you know, how long have you been doing this? And she said, I've been doing it for 18 years. And I said, do you have kids? She said, yes, she has 2 kids. And I said, what are their ages? She said, 19 and 13. And she goes, you know, my son's in college. He's taking IT. She's like, could you believe that I've done this for 18 years? And it's able to put her son through college. But she's like, I've just come in here and I've done the same thing every day. And that's where I started to talk to her. I said, well, you know, your main thing was to take care of your kids. You know, you've got your husband, your 2 sons. What else are you living for? Pretty soon you're going to be an empty nester. Your son's 13. He's going to be going off. What are your plans? She couldn't answer me. She just came to this country. She saw an opportunity to start a nail salon, and that's all she does. She will just work till the bone and go home. So who wants to live that way? We all want to visit different places. We all want to be able to live. Who wants to just work and go home? Because being self-employed will become worse than a job, because sometimes with your job, all you're doing is your job from 9 to 5, and then you go home, and then it's either extracurricular activities with your kids, so on and so forth. So we got to get the mindset in that we have to start visualizing where we want to be, how do we want to see ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but I know at 50 and 60, I want to be, you know, being a motivational speaker, traveling, talking to different facets of people all over the world. And my relaxation wants to be on a yacht somewhere warm in my off time. So I've got to be able to create that. All right. So none of this that we're talking about in terms of a vision board will you find in a traditional business plan. They're perfect for your vision, but more importantly, they're crucial for long-term success, because if you're seeing it every day, that's how you're going to achieve it. Without your dreams, it's nearly impossible to remain focused and on track when it comes to business growth. But with these reminders, it becomes easy. So why does a vision board work? Some of you are asking. Well, you know, we talked about faking it till we make it. Sometimes we got to be able to see these things so that we know what it is that we're working for. So in our minds, we know we're working towards the house, or we know we're working towards, you know, your kid's college education, or, you know, the gazebo in the backyard, whatever it is that you're working through. Once you see it and then it becomes a reality, it really wasn't that you were faking it. It's that you envisioned it and then it came to life. And that's a rewarding and a warm feeling inside, to know that you saw yourself going to attain something and then you actually attain it, and it's great. So, you know, why a vision board? Does this all feel pretty airy and fairy to you? You're not alone, because a lot of people, like I said, laughed at me when I said I do a vision board. I can name the number of people that have said, why a vision board? And for me, it just works because it helps me to accomplish things. You're not alone. Lots of us were raised to believe that business had to be about numbers and stats, and that there was no room for fun when it came to making money, which is a bunch of gibberish. You can have fun and make money. Just like people say money is the root of all evil. It's not. Money is not the root of all evil. It's how you handle the money when it comes into your hands. So I completely disagree. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world routinely use vision boards to help them clarify their dreams and keep their goals front of mind, okay? And that's precisely why vision boards work so well and why you're not faking it till you make it, because you're actually visualizing what it is that you want, and your vision board is actually helping you to keep your eye on the prize. They allow you to easily see exactly what it is that you're working towards, whether it's a shiny new car or a big beautiful home or an exotic vacation. By keeping visual reminders within sight, you're constantly aware of your why, and that's a powerful motivator. No matter what you're working on, you're going to achieve it. So that's the big thing, is having your why, visualizing it. And of course, no banker is going to accept a vision board as proof of visibility and give you a loan based on it. But when it comes to clarity of what it is that you're wanting out of your dreams, pinpointing your real goals, and getting excited about your business, again, you can just beat a personal, colorful vision board, and you can just have that as something that you're seeing on a daily basis. So give it a try, and it might just surprise you. So with that being said, for those of you that want to actually make a vision board and want to learn more about a vision board within itself, I have a webinar that's coming up on November the 7th. It's called Visualize Success. So we want to forget about keeping everything bottled up inside, not putting pen to paper or having our images. And we want to get the spark back into the passion of you becoming self-employed or working towards it through building a vision board. Essentially, by developing your vision board, if you're struggling to reach your goals in life and life goals, then I want to invite you to join me on November the 7th at 7 p.m. for what might just be a life-changing event, and I'll share with you the exact steps that you can take to finally achieve your goals and put an end to burnout. A lot of us are burnt out. We're doing our self-employed business, or we're working full-time and being self-employed, but because we don't have a plan in place, we're burnt out, we're ready to give up, or ready to throw in the towel. And I'm here to put a pep back into your step and to ignite your passion again for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I'll post the link for you to be able to register for the Consultant Success, Visualize Your Success. And don't spend another day struggling on growing your business and beating yourself up yet for another failure. With the tools and strategies I'll be sharing with you, you will be well on your way to finally achieving that dream. And I'll post the details here on my Facebook page. I wanted to thank everyone for joining me today, and just wondering if we can really fake it till we make it. And again, anything that you vision, you can accomplish. We just need to put the right tools and have everything in place in order for us to be successful. Thanks so much for joining me, guys, and enjoy the rest of your night. I'm Natalie Cousins.